begin with Article 19, sir. Sir, उसमें तीन चीजें important है. One is that the exceptions to freedom of speech is
reasonable.
One, that it has to be reasonable.
And
Number
imposed
two,
by law.
it has to be imposed by law.
Take.
Number three, it has to meet one of the 7 objects mentioned in it.
I find 8, you find 7.
My lord,
Let's start counting them. Glory
of Islam, integrity, security or defense, I treat them as one, sir.
2.
Two, friendly relations with foreign states.
3,
public order.
4,
decency or
5.
morality. 5.
No. Decency is different from morality.
Then it will be 8. So
Okay.
I treated decency and morality as part of the same, but then it will be 8.
I know there's common ground, but I think they are two different.
ठीक है, sir.
And if the Constitution has used 2 different phrases,
Fair enough,
who are we to
Fair
dilute there?
Fair enough, sir. Then in relation to contempt of court, and then this is important, sir, commission of or incitement to an offense.
I think this is the most important one.
Yes, sir. Because your lordship will appreciate that before the 4th constitutional amendment, this specifically included defamation. Defamation was omitted. Defamation was, instead of commission of, it used to be defamation or incitement to.
Defamation was there in the original Constitution.
Ji, sir.
And was removed by the 4th Amendment.
Ji, sir.
When was the 4th Amendment?
So that was 1975.
21st November 1975.
And removed
21 November 1975.
by 4th Amendment.
Ji, sir.
4th Amendment. 21 November
1975.
1975. Theek.
Now,
Got it.
incidentally,
What
sir,
was the reason for doing? Did you see the whatever the debates or anything like that?
I have not been able to look at the debate, sir.
Okay.
But if I saw the 1956 Constitution,
Then I can think of reasons myself, but I was just wondering what had prevailed by the constitution makers to do so.
Sir,
Theek.
I've not been able to lay my hands on the debates yet, but it was there in all. Defamation was there in all the previous constitutions. It was there in the original 73 Constitution, but it was removed in this, in the 4th Amendment. Now, my submission is, sir, that the purpose of that removal is to decriminalize defamation. And that is the international trend, that defamation is in many countries, where they had criminal liability.
Mr. Ravi Ahmed, there's another case pending before this court, case of 2 very famous Pakistani singers, where one alleged sexual harassment against the other, and the other resorted to criminal defamation. And one of the questions posed in that is exactly what you're saying. ये है आपके पास रिपोर्टेड
Misha Shafi's and
नहीं वो
Ali
रिपोर्टेड
Zafar's,
है या उसका प्रिंट आउट दे दें नहीं उसमें मेरे ख्याल में एग्जैक्ट एक क्वेश्चन आया so we can leave it for that because ये है हमारे पास अच्छा चल I'll continue.
My lord, this is important actually, that case also, and I had advised at least one person who received an FIA notice in that case as well for expressing support for what Misha Shafi had said on Twitter or Facebook.
Let's not argue that case.
I'm not arguing it. I'm not arguing
let's
it.
not
What
take
I'm
names
saying
now.
is that Section 20 was applied in that case as well. Notices were sent by FIA on that ground as well. So what I'm saying is that the criminalization of defamatory speech, whether it be done through Section 20 of PICA or otherwise, that would itself fall afoul of the Article 19.
No, I was just thinking, shall we leave it for that? We just trying.
Sir, there are even if a law is promulgated for the objects, the 8 objects mentioned in Article 19, even then it can only pass constitutional muster if they are reasonable.
Yes.
Now, the reasonableness,
ये इसकी एक और कॉपी दे दें. हाँ, मिल गया. It's 2022 SCMR 1267. सलाउद्दीन साहब को दीजिए. You can skip the factual aspects and you can turn to paragraph 4. Leave is granted to consider the following.
whether Section 20 of PICA and any other provision thereof violate Article 19 of the Constitution, whether the defense of truth is undermined by Section 20 of PICA by criminalizing defamation, whether the criminalization of defamation negates, dilutes and or suppresses the fundamental right of freedom of speech and expression, whether, my lord, this would cover exactly
इसीलिए
some of the grounds.
read on.
Whether an anomalous situation is created if both a civil case claiming damages on account of defamation and a criminal prosecution for defamation proceed and or to do so simultaneously, and whether this would undermine the fundamental right of a fair trial and due process enshrined in Article 10A of the Constitution, whether by invoking PICA against victims of sexual harassment and victims of other crimes amounts to silencing them and perpetuates injustice, whether Section 20 of PICA deters the wrong from accusing the wrongdoer and infringes the permission specifically granted to the wrong, that Allah does not like that evil should be uttered in public except by one who is wrong, Al-Quran, Surah Nisa 4 verse 148, whether the petitioners could have recourse to this court without having filed ICA, and then, my lord.
नहीं, वो the other one, two technical ones. Does this, I think this is much more than what you're saying.
Yes, my lord.
Have you left out something
No,
here?
this covers most of what I intended to argue before your lordship, which I made my submissions on.
So had you not read this order?
My lord, I had not seen this. I had not,
आप पहले कहते तो हम इसको भी लगा देते साथ में केस को.
sir.
So I think इसको पर I don't want to, because it's a matter pending. Either we fix it with this one, but this is specifically to journalists, and that is not really specifically to journalists, but it's the. I'll tell you what the difference is. In a way, it will be on their rights. Here you are asserting journalistic rights. This case, on the contrary, is pushing journalism back. And these are my private rights, don't interfere. So, do you see what because privacy, वो होता है ना, वो क्या paparazzi, and they chase people or take pictures from drones and stuff like that. So that may be contrary to what you are saying, because journalists will say, why can't I do so? And this is a pushback.
My lord.
So,
my lord, perhaps this aspect then, Article 19.
maybe we agree with the जैसे अथरा मिलर्स judgment that